Number 44, Reggie Ruggiero. He draws position number 8. Drawing fourth will be the driver of the Norwood Subaru, Reardon General, Rome, New York, Richie Evans. He draws position number 5. Seventh competitor to draw will be the driver of the Len Bowler Malco Products, number 3, Magic Shoes, Mike McLaughlin. He draws number 11. Eighth starting position will be drawn by the Pego Corporation. Number 12, the Sherwin Industries Sherry Cup machine, drawing Brett Bodine. Brett reaches in, and he draws number 2. Ninth starting position, the Pastriak Racing Enterprises, number 75 for Carl Pastriak. He draws number 1. 10th starting position will go to the R.A. Gardner Auto Parts machine. Car number 19 for Bobby Park. He reaches in and draws number 7. And the 11th position to draw, promoter Ed Yerington reaches in. It'll be Marty Radwick's machine. The only number left in the bucket, number 6. Number 34, Chevrolet Cavalier out of Watermill, New York, Don Howe. 84, Stafford Motor Speedway, Winston Racing Series champion. Driver of the D'Addario and Ross Racing Enterprises, sponsor wanted, number 73, out of Ballston Spa, New York, flying, Brian Ross. In the 28th starting position, he'll be driving the Gearhart Chevrolet Cavalier. Out of Neptune, New Jersey, frontrunner at the New Egypt and Wall Stadium, car number 99, Jamie the Jet Tomato. 27th starting position, out of Belport, Long Island, New York. He'll be driving the Chassis Dynamics built automobile, car number 7, New York, a Chevy Cavalier for Tommy Baldwin. In the 26th starting position, he'll be driving the Paquin Travel Chevrolet Cavalier Troyer-built machine from Tiverton, Rhode Island, car number 8, Rhode Island, for George Murray. In the 25th starting position, driving a Ford-powered machine, the Lindblad Chassis Gene Speed Equipment, number 48, out of Hanover, Massachusetts, veteran driver Leo the Lion Clary. In the 24th starting position, he already has picked up $100 from Big D's novelty booth after his impressive win in the non-qualifiers event at the Spring Sizzler. Driving the Lou Horton Distributing, number 10 from Southborough, Massachusetts, John Falcone. This automobile will be renumbered for scoring as car number 1. In the 23rd starting position, it is possibly his last event that he will run here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. The Riverdale Chrysler Van Deen Security Manor, number 711, from West Springfield, Massachusetts, Bob Polvereri. In the 22nd starting position, he'll be driving the West Hartford Tool and Die, the Ben Dodge & Sons, number 36, the Buick Skyhawk out of Southington, Connecticut, Stan Greger. 21st starting position, the Beamers Petroleum, number 123, Raceworks Chassis Machine, Charger 2+2 for Bruce D'Alessandro out of East Hartford, Connecticut. 20th starting position, out of Greenwich, Rhode Island, driving the Perry Gricci Racing Enterprises, number 11 for Mike Stefanik. In the 19th starting position, driving the Teddy Bear Pools, number 85, Chevrolet Cavalier RGM built from Springfield, Massachusetts, Jack Lukire. 18th starting position, the Rainbow Farms Advanced Design, number 01, out of East Granby, Connecticut, Ray Miller. In the 17th starting position, he'll be driving the Superior Processing number 2X, out of Westboro, Massachusetts, car number 2X for Jeff Fuller. 16th starting position, out of Williamson, New York, driving car number 25, the Leedy Racing Enterprises entry for Jan Leedy. 15th starting position, co-champion at the London Waterford Speed Bowl, Driving the Bonneville Trucking Raceworks built number 51 from Ockham, Connecticut, Bobby Potter. 14th starting position. The Brady Bunch machine, the Ron Young Southwick Motor Sales powered number 00 from Agawam, Massachusetts, Johnny Rosati. 13th starting position. Stafford's all-time winningest driver. Driver, the Bob Garbarino Mystic Missile. Car number 4 from Rehoboth, Massachusetts, Carl Bugsy Stevens. In the 12th starting position, he'll be driving the Norgard machine, Bill Pelly Racing Enterprises, KJM mounted camera machine, car number 10, out of Rocky Mountain, Virginia, Satch Worley. In the 11th starting position, he'll be driving the Malco Products machine, the Len Bowler prepared Chevrolet Cavalier, car number 3 from Magic Shoes, Mike McLaughlin. In the 10th starting position, he'll be driving the Long Island Reliable number 28 New York, Troyer-built machine for George Bonhozel. 9th starting position. After a win last night at the Oswego Speedway, he'll be driving the Norwood Subaru Reardon General Racing Enterprises 24 from Berwick, Pennsylvania, Jimmy Spencer. 8th starting position. The 1983 Stafford Motor Speedway Winston Racing Series champion, the Lutz Fiore Miller Time 44, Reggie Ruggiero. In the 7th starting position, the R.A. Gardner Automotive Machine, Troyer-built car, car number 19, New York, for Bobby Park. 6th starting position, the Cliff Hanks Construction, Marty Speed Equipment, built number 37, from Agawam, Massachusetts, Marty Radowick. 5th starting position, National Modified Champion, driver, the B.R. DeWitt, number 61, the Rapid Roman, Richie Evans. In the 4th starting position, driving the Tuck Hoffman chassis number 02, out of Swansea, Massachusetts, Vinny Anarumo. 3rd starting position, the Rulin Electric, Wilsburg Racing number 5, New York, for Charlie Jazombak out of Baton Hollow, Long Island. And the men that'll bring the field around. In the number 2 starting position, he'll be driving the Billy Carrazzo Sherwood Industries, Pego Racing Enterprises number 12, from Meriden, Connecticut, Brett Bodine. And starting in the number 1 spot, the Pastriac Racing Enterprises, number 75, out of Lisbon, Connecticut, a Pontiac 2000 Sunbird for Carl Pastriac. We'll give the drivers an opportunity to get in their automobiles before we ask lovely Don to give us the official command to start this prestigious event. Attention please, all pit crew members, head back to your designated pit area. Drivers in your automobile. Ladies and gentlemen, the competitors are in their automobiles. Our lovely representative from Coca-Cola, Don Steiner, will give the official command that'll start the Coca-Cola Fall Final.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The Stafford Motor Speedway. The final time for the 1984 Racing Series. Here at the half mile, the pace cars now begin to pull away. The field will reassemble behind those pace cars, with Carl Pastriac assuming the pole, Brett Bodine the outside pole. Keep in mind that because this is a special event, a new policy has been initiated regarding Pace cars now moving into the infield. We will look for a green very, very shortly on this absolutely gorgeous Sunday afternoon in October. The field begins to rumble by. As they come by this time, how about a wave of the hat? Anything you have.
This is it, a whole
Wish
season
them
of
luck.
competition. They perform for you to perfection here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. This facility, the pride of New England, it breeds the absolute best when it comes to competition. This is what the NASCAR Winston Racing Series is all about. And you have been here. Some of you have witnessed each and every Friday night some of the closest competition ever here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. It has been a year for Brian Ross and a year for the remainder of the field. They have had some super good racing action here at the Stafford Motor Speedway each and every week. And 1985 is just around the corner. Who will it be for the Spring Sizzler when April 13th and 14th will roll around for the 14th annual event? But right now, we've got the Coca-Cola Fall Final. We've got Carl Pastriak and Brett Bodine making up the front row. On the inside of the second row, it's Charlie Chazambak, Vinny Anarumo. 3 rows back, Richie Evans. Outside of him, the 37 of Marty Rattling. Then we move to Bobby Park in the number 19, the 44 of Reggie Ruggiero. Jimmy Spencer's number 24, George Brunhosel, Mike McLaughlin, Satch Worley, Carl Bugsy Stevens, and John Rosati. 51 of Bobby Potter, Jan Leedy's number 25. The stage is set now as they head into turn number 3.
Into turn 3 they go. Nice and easy. Carl Pastriak sets the pace. And here to call the start of the race, the voice of the Stafford Motor Speedway, Ben Dodge.
Off the 4th turn, they finally check their gauges, ready to get on the throttle. They hammer it off the turn, down to the line. Red will be out in front as Carl Pastriak, literally sideways for just a second, but Charlie Chazambak quickly moves to the outside as they head down the back straightaway. Marty Rattling wastes no time at all. He moves to the outside of Carl Pastriak, but into the record books for lap number 1, it'll be Brett Bodine driving car number 12.
Bodine, remember, the Owners' Championship is also on the line this afternoon as Ruggiero and Radrick come in contact briefly off the second turn. And Bodine appears to be in very good shape to take home that win right now for his car owner. Off the 4th turn, Bodine, Chazambak, bumper to bumper, and the rest of the
25, James Reedy crosses it off the racetrack. He comes back out. Bruce D'Alessandro goes around about 3/4 of the way down the front straightaway. Don Howe gets heavy on the binders and fakes what appears to be minor contact with the cement retaining wall down the front straightaway. Caution comes out the first one of the event with 2 laps into the record books. Brett Bodine has led the first 2 circuits of competition, and that caution came out after Jan Leedy had crossed up in the 4th turn, came down across the center of the infield area in turn 4, crossed up back on the racetrack. Bruce D'Alessandro got sideways with the Beamer's Petroleum number 125. He went around about 3/4 of the way down, and Don Howe, who was facing the sun down the front straightaway, made contact with the cement retaining wall. Howe appears to have suffered the most damage, as it appears that D'Alessandro's car is okay, and he will pick up at the back of the... Was it the last chance to maybe prove yourself just a little bit, or was it just another event?
No, the last event of any season always has kind of a special meaning. You really want to go out and you want to do the number. Of course, the main thing you want to do is bring the car home in one piece. But anyone who finds himself in the public eye, such as race drivers do, you always feel that this is your last chance to really show your crew, show the people in the stands, and show yourself, prove to yourself in your mind before every race, and you really wonder, well, is this one going to be a good one, or isn't it? And so when the last race of the season comes rolling around, usually you go for broke.
Well, we're going to have to see if that's going to be the case. Cookman Race Transporter. Corky Cookman met with misfortune in his qualifying round. He did not qualify through the consolation event. Seldom do you find him out of a feature. We're back to green. Behind him is still the number 5 machine. Richie Evans will now go to the outside of Marty Radley as he gets down the back straightaway. But the battle that's been going on all season is still occurring here at Stafford, as Jimmy Spencer is not letting Evans get out of his sight. He is literally glued to the back bumper, and they go it doesn't matter about the points. It has just been a hotly contested battle on who is the best. It could be decided here this afternoon without any flat showing in the scoreboard as the wheel rumbles into turn number 3 off that fourth turn.
As they come off the fourth turn, it is still that beautiful Cherry Cup car number 12. He leads the race and he would love nothing better than to end his career behind the wheel of a modified. Coca-Cola Fall Final here at Stafford. Charlie Jerzopek has had considerable success behind the wheel of car number 5 this year. He runs second. Carl Bastiak Evans up along the outside of Benny Anarumo. Evans looks to move in and take over the 4th spot. He does it with ease into turn number 3. Evans now sets his sights on the rear bumper of Carl Pasternak as we mark 11 laps on the scoreboard.
He is working both the inside and the outside lanes. We get Jay and Lady down through the infield area again. He's already been down there once in this event. He comes back out with number 25, definitely an ill-handling automobile. He'll try to work his way to contend back as he picks up in the rear of the field. And Brett Line and Charlie is on by about 3 or 4 Charlie. Carl Pasternak setting in third. And we see Richie Evans on the 4th spot. Reggie Ruggiero is 5th. 6th is Vinny Anarumo. 7th is Jimmy Spencer. 8th is Marty Radwick. 9th is the number 4 of Carl Bugsy Stevens. And 10th and challenging is George Russell, number 28.
Meanwhile, back in the back car number 51. Ronnie Connor, a lot of smoke coming out from under that car. In fact, the black flag has just been issued to Connor. Car number 51 as he drops down out of contention. Bobby Fowler apparently done for the day. Meanwhile, back up front, it is still Bodine and Jerzopek beginning to pull away. Then it's Matthews with Richie Evans right up his bumper and having moved up through the field now. Car number 44 for Randy Ruggiero. Sits in the 5th spot. He makes a move on the outside, goes right up alongside of Evans. Up alongside and ahead he goes as Ruggiero goes deep into turn 3. He doesn't stop with Evans. He pulls right up alongside of Pasternak and with ease goes up and around. Now Ruggiero sets his sights on the leader.
Once again, here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, Randy Ruggiero has worked his way up to the 3rd spot. He is definitely one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. 4th is now Richie Evans. Carl Pasternak has to settle for the 5th spot. 6th is Jimmy Spencer. But we've got competitors like Mike Stefanik, Jeff Fuller, and number 3, Michael Orford, working their way rather rapidly to the front. With another second car being led by Bobby Park, also contending. Here comes Jeff Fuller to the outside of Marty Radwick now. He picks up a spot with car number 2X, 16 laps. And coming down, it is still Brett Bodine at the line.
Across the start-finish line they go. Brett Bodine leading this race that we have played from day 1. Running in the second spot. Charlie Day in the 5. Reggie Ruggiero now has managed to put quite a bit of sense in trouble now.
He's got Jay and Lady up next to the Armco retaining wall with a flat right front tire. And car number 25, he almost cut right down in front of Reggie Ruggiero.
Caution flag is out. A very, very dangerous situation as Leedy tried to get down off of the racetrack, only to find the entire pack rumbling right behind him. So he was forced up near the wall.
Ben, the official Miller Time brewing machine that has ran very, very strong here, taking down several feature event wins. He currently sets comfortably in the 3rd spot. They go to green. Everybody is sleeping. Brett Bodine is the first to come up to life. Reggie Ruggiero is right behind Jerzopek. Jerzopek a little bit swerving. Second as they head into turn number 2. We've got trouble down the front straightaway. It appears a couple of the cars making contact. Bob Colberi's machine has a flat left rear tire and literally fluid of some type coming out. On the Riverdale Chrysler machine, it appears that he got tangled up with the number 48 of Leo Clary and the number 8 of George Murray.
We're back to caution once again as Murray, Cleary, and Polverari head into the infield. Polverari apparently calling it quits as he doesn't even attempt to head down pit road. He just parks the car right in the infield. Murray and Cleary both in for repairs on their machinery, and they, of course, will be back in action.
Very, very slow on this restart, just as one of the previous was, but Brett Bodine is out in front. Ruggiero tucks it down low. He's going to wheel down underneath the number 5 machine of Charlie Jazombek. A little bit greasy at turn number 1. Jazombek still taps on the back bumper. George Bernholzel breaks away with Mike Stefanik right behind him as they start to work their way into the top 10. But we've got 3 cars trying to contend for the lead, with Reggie Ruggiero up to second at the start-finish line. Brett Bodine holds on. He is out in front.
What a battle we've got for that second spot as Bodine is able to hold on. Ruggiero now manages to sneak underneath the 5 of Jazombek. He's right on the rear bumper of Bodine now as they go into turns 3 and 4. It's a 4-car freight train off the 4th turn with Bodine, Ruggiero, Jazombek, and Evans. Carl Mastriak, 2 car lengths back ahead, and Jimmy Spencer and George Brunhosel off the 2nd turn. Brett Bodine from Meriden, Connecticut, driving his last regular modified ride here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. He will move south and hook up with brother Jeff next year on the Grand National Circuit. Brett leads him across on lap number 30.
No question about it. With 30 laps to the record, Brett Bodine is out in front with Reggie Ruggiero. Haunts him. He's right there on his back bumper. Charlie Jazombek gives him a little bit of racing room, but here comes Ruggiero. He can run that race car high and low on this racetrack. He taps on the back bumper of Brett Bodine, who holds the groove and still sets the pace, but it is going to be a lot of good racing all the way through the wheel in this one, because we've got Jazombek and Richie Evans doing the same type of performance, battling for the 3rd and 4th position. Ruggiero takes a peek at the inside. Brett Bodine holds the groove in a race that he values. The final race of 1984 in the Billy Carrazzo machine. He is still out front, 32 laps and counting down.
A brand new sponsor, and what a show that sponsor is getting today. The Tego Industries involvement with car number 12 is being highlighted today as Brett manages to lead. But speaking of brand new, it's still a brand new car underneath the controls of Reggie Ruggiero at number 44 with his maiden voyage here on the racetrack today, showing exceptionally well as he works the high side and the low side of Bodine. He just tries the high side coming off the 2nd turn, can't make it. He slips down to the bottom of the racetrack, can't make it again. Reggie Ruggiero working the rear bumper of Brett Bodine up and down, in and out this afternoon. But Bodine holds on with 34 laps on the scoreboard in this 100-lap Coca-Cola Fall Final here at the Stafford Motor Speedway.
What a race it is. Ruggiero still reeling him in. Richie Evans has just taken over the 3rd spot, and his shadow, Jimmy Spencer, is right behind Evans, followed by George Brunhosel and Mike Stefanik. Brunhosel, Stefanik, and Jeff Fuller, the young drivers making their mark here at Stafford, working their way to the front, and what a show they are putting on. Those 3 automobiles that battle lap after lap consistently, nose to tail, heading to the front, while Ruggiero, the crafty veteran, goes to the outside of Brett Bodine, rim rides the car off the turn, tucks the Miller sticker down underneath the back end of Brett Bodine Sherwood Industry Cherry Cup machine, but Brett will try to hold on to the number 1 position. 36 laps are now history here at Stafford. Reggie Ruggiero is 2nd, Richie Evans is 3rd. 4th is Jimmy Spencer, 5th is George Brunhosel, 6th is Mike Stefanik, 7th is Charlie J, 8th is Jeff Fuller, 9th is Mike McLaughlin, and 10th, by appearance on the racetrack, is the 73 of Brian Ross. We'll check and see if that automobile is down some laps. We believe it is, but we are still under green, 37 laps and counting down.
Word from the scoring department is that Brian is not down, Ben, so fortunate there that Brian Ross is still very much in the thick of things. Reggie Ruggiero, the last time around, into turn number 1, got up in the marbles, lost a lot of ground, but he was able to gain that ground back. The other question you have to wonder is Richie Evans. What is Evans doing? He suddenly puts on a charge, picks up 2 or 3 positions, and then seems to lay back. He now begins to close ever so slightly on the leaders. Crafty veteran that he is, you can count on Richie Evans being there in the end.
We've got a spin. Car number 5, Charlie Jazombek, spins in turn number 4. Out of harm's way, he gathers it back, but he has lost literally about 15 positions on the racetrack. Here comes Ruggiero down underneath Brett Bodine. They'll be door handle to door handle off the turn, inches out in front. We've got a brand new leader at the line. It is Reggie Ruggiero. The Miller time 44 is out in front. Brett Bodine tries to take it back, but Ruggiero shuts the door as they head down the back straightaway.
Incredible. Reggie just absolutely opens up about a 4-car length lead going down the back stretch alone. Apparently, there's a lot more new into that car than just some sheet metal. Horsepower and everything all glued together and literally glued to the racetrack as Reggie Ruggiero now begins to stretch it out. Bodine now has his hands full once again as Richie Evans is moving right in.
If we approach the halfway marker soon, Brett Bodine has to settle for second. We've got the number 10 automobile, renumbered car 1 for John Falcone down through the infield area. He gathers it back nicely. Richie Evans is working over Brett Bodine at this point in the event. 43 laps are now complete. We've got a pile up in turns number 3 and 4. The number 5 of Charlie Jazambak and Vinny Anarumo's car number 02. We mentioned back at about lap number 36, Charlie Jazambak had literally lost about 15 positions when he went spinning down through the infield area off the 4th turn. He was trying to make up some of that time and has made contact with Vinny Anarumo, car number 02. Rear of the field as we go back to green.
Green flag is out. Ruggiero wastes no time. As the flag drops, Ruggiero puts his foot in it. Off the 4th turn, he leads the pack. Right in behind him. Richie Evans runs a low through, trying to make up a lot of lost territory, but he cannot get a spot away from Bodine, or he has to hang on. The big move, Ben, however, came from car number 11, Mike Stefanik. However, out of nowhere, car number 73, Brian Ross, who you remember had to qualify through the Nazi, who, if you remember, had to go into the pit area and have the 120-mile-an-hour tape put on the sheet metal to hold the car together. Brian Ross currently sits in the 5th position going into turn number 3. He is right alongside of Mike Stefanik. Hold your hat because Brian Ross is on a roll.
Remember what we told you at the start of this one. Ross said he wanted to win it for the fans here at Stafford. They've been so loyal to him. He is showing you a sample of his talents, what he's shown us each and every Friday night throughout the 1984 season. Brian Ross is all the way up to the 5th spot. 49 laps. They come off the 4th turn. 50 circuits are complete. Halfway, Ross is definitely among the class of the field. With the number 73, Mike Stefanik turning in a banner performance, as Russ Down had mentioned, along with the number 2X machine of Jeff Fuller. Those 2 cars, actually 3 cars, George Reynolds is number 28, have been glued to each other literally throughout this event. They have not let each other out of their sight. They have worked their way through traffic, and what a show we've got just between those 3 cars with the action very, very impressive right up front. It is still Ruggiero building his lead by literally about 6 car lengths over Brett Bodine, as now Brian Ross is literally working over Jimmy Spencer in turn number 4.
Brian Ross started 29th on the field and in 48 laps has moved his way up through the pack to lay claim to the 5th position, and he is now very methodically looking over the rear bumper of Jimmy Spencer, trying to make that move. Brian Ross is probably one of the coolest drivers under pressure out there. He just takes his time and works his way, puts the throttle down when it counts. He's not extremely colorful behind the wheel, but you get him into victory lane, and the man is animated. Off of turn number 2, the 44 for Reggie Ruggiero as he begins to stretch it out now on an 8-car length advantage over 2nd place Brett Bodine. Richie Evans runs 3rd. Jimmy Spencer is 4th. Brian Ross is 5th. Jeff Fuller is 6th. Mike Stefanik 7th. George Reynolds is 8th. 9th is the 3 for McLaughlin, and rounding out the top 10, car number 4 for Carl Bug Stevens.
Carl Bugsy Stevens doing a good job of holding on there. It appears that he is not running as strong as he did at the start of this one. Mike McLaughlin just in front of him. Ruggiero out in front, of course. Brett Bodine, look at Brian Ross. He is all over the back bumper of Mr. Excitement in the old Forenza, car number 24. Jimmy Spencer literally manhandling his car. Brian Ross makes contact with him, as now Jeff Fuller comes to life. Fuller, the young supercharger out of Westboro, Massachusetts. He moves into contention. Ross takes a peek at the outside, looks at Spencer and says, what is going on off turn number 4? Fuller says, I see some racing room down low. If we're going to go for it, we're going to do it in style. And that's what you're seeing out there. A lot of great racing style, different in each and every one of the competitors out there. A different style, but Ross is looking very aggressive. Fuller always aggressive as a young lion. Spencer using a lot of racetrack, but he is holding on to that position. Off the turn they come, deep into turn number 1.
Jimmy Spencer has become very, very good at buying a lot of real estate all at once, and he's using up a lot of it here this afternoon, holding off the hard-charging Brian Ross and Jeff Fuller as well. Meanwhile, while all that was going on, the 37 of Marty Radwick has been retired. Radwick into the infield. He's out of the car, apparently mechanical difficulties, sidelining the C. Hanks Construction Company entry. Up front, Reggie Ruggiero continues to dominate the event as Brian Ross now looks underneath Jimmy Spencer. Off the 2nd turn, Ross on the inside, Spencer on the high side. Into turn 3 they go. Spencer is able to sneak ahead and slam the door on Brian Ross.
And slam it he does off that turn. He just literally shuts it. Ross is left with no racing room whatsoever. Fuller now makes contention for it. Here comes Richie Evans down underneath Brentwood High. Down the back straightaway, you can see orange and day-glow orange. Richie Evans is up to second. Brentwood High will try to battle to take it back, but Evans got the number 2 spot. Spencer still holds off Brian Ross, followed by Jeff Fuller, Brunholzl, and Mike Stefanik. That 3-car battle that we've been talking about through the first 60 laps of the competition.
60 laps do show on the scoreboard, Ben, and I think now Richie Evans is going to go to work. He's got a lot of ground to make up if he's going to try to catch the high-flying Reggie Ruggiero this afternoon. Without a caution period, it's going to be a little bit difficult for Evans to make up that lost territory. He's counting on a caution. Of course, Ruggiero is hoping that there isn't one. Meanwhile, back on the racetrack, the battle between Spencer and Ross continues. This time it's Ross on the outside, Spencer on the inside. Off the 4th turn, Brian Ross appears to get the bite. He runs right up to the wall. They're even at the line into turn 1. It is still Spencer and Ross. Spencer on the inside, Ross on the outside. Brian gets the bite off the 2nd turn. Brian Ross has now moved in to lay claim to 4th as he started 29th on the field and now currently sits only 3 spots away from his desired goal of winning this event.
No question about it, Brian Ross definitely made an impressive move to get around Jimmy Spencer. Jeff Fuller, George Brunholzl, and Mike Stefanik are going to have to make the same type of move if they hope to move into contention there. But out in front, it is still Miller time right here at Stafford with Reggie Ruggiero definitely out in front by about almost 3/4 of the straightaway over the number 61 of Richie Evans. Brentwood High setting about 6 car lanes behind Evans in 3rd with car number 12. Then it's Brian Ross, who is literally already starting to reel in on the back bumper of Brentwood High. A caution could change the complexion of this event drastically here with 65 laps complete. We've got the number 24 of Spencer still holding off Jeff Fuller, George Brunholzl, Mike Stefanik, Mike McLaughlin, Carl Bugsy Stevens, Satch Worley, and then we go back to Ray Miller, Tom Baldwin, and I believe the number 00 of John Rosati.
Then while all that was happening, young Jeff Fuller made a charge at Jimmy Spencer. Spencer was able to hold on, but keep an eye.
Spencer now literally has to deal with 2 cars instead of just the 1. George Brunholzl, the 2X of Fuller, and the 11 of Stefanik have worked themselves together throughout this event. They have literally been right there in contention. When one made a move, the other seemed to follow through. And that's what's happening right now. Fuller just looks for some racing room down low, takes a peek at the inside, tucks it back in. Spencer tries to hold on for the 4th position, as now we see that Ross is really starting to close up. Off the 2nd turn, Fuller has picked up another position. George Brunholzl is going to show you that he can do it also. He tries to get in there, but Spencer shuts the door. As they come off the turn, Brunholzl is right there to contend, single file in that battle raging there.
69 laps show on the Winston Racing Series scoreboard this time around through turns 3 and 4. Reggie Ruggiero encountering a lot of lap traffic, but at this point, Ruggiero will cross the stripe. We'll make it an even 70 laps, 30 left in the Coca-Cola Fall Final here at Stafford. Believe it or not, Ruggiero has a 4.12 second advantage over Richie Evans. We'll keep an eye on that advantage to see if he is able to increase it or if it in fact decreases. This time around, the difference between Ruggiero and Evans comes in at 4.22, so he certainly was able to pick up some distance that time around on Richie Evans.
Approaching about 3/4 of the way through this event. Look out, your leader is coming up on lapped automobiles. Jan Leedy made contact with Robbie Park there. And believe it or not, your leader, Reggie Ruggiero, definitely got his hands full. Traffic is blocking him. Lapped automobiles. Brian Ross has a flat left rear tire. Brian Ross out of Ballston Spa, New York, the 1984 Stafford Motor Speedway champion, heads to the infield area. Jan Leedy also has a flat left rear tire. Ross, who is running right up there, has a flat tire. It has really been an unbelievable season. Ups and downs, another case of the downs here for Brian Ross out of Ballston Spa, New York. They're still going to change that tire, and they'll put him back out, but his hopes of winning this one are over. Now, look out. Here comes Ruggiero through traffic. Like the hot-knife new runner once again. He's coming up on Carl Pastriak's machine. Evans is moving in.
During all of that, we were able to run a watch on Ruggiero and Evans. Evans has closed that gap considerably. It's now just a little over 2 seconds. so we'll have to keep an eye on that. So we started to say you can't help but notice the drivers, and watching Brian Ross in the pit area after experiencing that incredible disappointment of the flat tire on about the 73rd or 74th lap. He pulled into the pit area very calmly, sat in the automobile as the crew changed the tire, and went right back out onto the racetrack. So a real tip of the hat to Brian Ross, who is a class kind of guy.
No question about that. He is back in the field and trying to make up some ground, but he has lost several circuits because while he was in that infield area, it was green flag competition. And with laps in the 19 and 20-second bracket, it doesn't take long for the laps to actually tick away on you, as the old saying goes. 77 laps are now into the record books as history. And Mike Stefanik, Mike McLaughlin, and Carl Bugsy Stevens battle in contention there for the 7th, 8th, and 9th position. Car number 44, Reggie Ruggiero, coming around gentleman Jack Lucar, a lap automobile. Now as he comes off the turn, John Rosani trying to run with Ruggiero to try to unlap him a bit because he has been in the infield, hitting also with the number 00 machine. 79 laps are now complete in history. Good race here this afternoon in Stafford for the Coca-Cola Fall Final. And Ruggiero is the class of the field. Evans is moving in, but it looks like he cannot do it unless we have a caution.
He's only been able to reduce that lead to 2.9 seconds, so there's no question about it. Richie Evans is closing in, but can he do it? 20 laps remain in this 100-lap feature event, the Coca-Cola Fall Final here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. And I guess the question on just about everybody's mind is, can on Richie Evans?
Car number 01, Ray Miller, is all dropped off the pace. The advanced design machine will head to the infield area. Miller was not running very, very strong here this afternoon. It appears that he has some type of a mechanical problem with what appears to be in the engine department of the advanced design number 01. 83 laps are complete. Brett Bodine and Jeff Fuller are running nose to tail, bumper to bumper, as they come off that second turn area, and that is the battle raging for the 3rd position. Fuller, the superior processing entry, is challenging Brett Bodine in perhaps Brett Bodine's last appearance here in modified competition before moving on to bigger and better things. Fuller has his sights set on that 3rd position. He isn't going to give up one bit. He is really working over the back bumper of car number 12 as they head down the back straightaway.
Jamie Tomato also beginning to move in now on that two-way battle for 3rd. Tomato in car number 99. Sees the battle going on between Bodine and Fuller right in front of him.
Spencer is sideways in the turns, trying to keep up with Jordan Burnhosel. He gathers it back nicely now, rib riding with the automobile, but Jimmy Spencer looked a little bit out of shape that last time around. He has lost some valuable ground. It appears that Fuller has a problem. Jeff Fuller's car starts to smoke profusely as the right rear tire is smoking on the superior processing entry. This is the caution that we were talking about that could come.
Well, it comes on lap 86, and I'm sure at this point that the Richie Evans crew is elated, and the Ruggiero crew is rightfully concerned.
You know, it appeared as the number 2X came down the front straightaway here, what has happened on that race car is he got tapped by one of the other automobiles. The Nerf bar is literally rubbing on the right rear tire on car number 2X. If Fuller could get into the pit area, no. The chances of that happened just ended rather drastically as the right rear tire went flat on the Fuller machine. He is going to the pits. And in with a flat right rear tire. We'll have to check with the NASCAR officials on whether that is a legal move to come off from the scene of the accident and actually go backwards on the racetrack to head to the pit area. But a tough break for Jeff Fuller, who was running in the 4th position. George Brunhosel has moved up to the 4th spot now with the number 28 machine, and we believe that Mike Stefanik. No, we don't see that automobile. Closer to Reggie Ruggiero. At one time, it was almost a full straightaway's distance, but the green flag comes out immediately. Ruggiero jumps out in front. John Falcone is the next car in line, and Evans has got to go around Falcone, and that is giving Reggie Ruggiero a little bit of time as he pulls away down the back straightaway. Carl Pastrak goes to the outside of number 85 to try to unlap himself as Brett Bodine is coming through traffic nicely with George Brunhosel, Jimmy Spencer, and Mike McLaughlin into contend.
The field rumbles down the front straightaway, and Ruggiero has managed to pull out about a 6 or 8 car length lead over Evans, who got caught behind Falcone on that restart. John Falcone was a lap car on the restart. And he and Carl Pasteryak were in the starting positions, mixing up the restart so that Ruggiero actually had dominant positions on Richie Evans. There is nothing between the two cars right now as Ruggiero streaks down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Evans trying desperately now to close that gap. We're into the final 7 laps. 93 laps show in the Winston Racing Series scoreboard. Reggie Ruggiero appears to be in pretty good shape as we approach the final 6.5 circuits of this half-mile oval here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Time Pontiac across the start-finish line. Next time around, the 5-lap marker will go up from starter Frank Scamato, indicating to Reggie Ruggiero just 5 more circuits of the half-mile, 2.5 racing miles left, and he will lay claim to the 6th annual Coca-Cola Fall Final here at Stafford. There it is, the 5-lap marker, as we've got problems up in turn number 3. It appears as though there are about 6 race cars involved. The 24 of Jimmy Spencer, the 02 of Anarumo, the 36 of Stan Greger, the 19 of Park, the 73 of Ross, the 28 of Brunholzl. It appears to be the 3 of McLaughlin, the 7 of Tommy Baldwin, and there is one other car that is pulling away right now that appears to be the 10 of Satch Worley. So far, all of those cars, except for Brunholzl and McLaughlin, have been able to pull away. McLaughlin now backing down off of the wall. What at first appeared to be a very serious mishap over in the turn turns out to be nothing more than a game of dominoes, and they're just picking up the pieces at this point. And the only car that may need assistance other than the 36 of Stan Greger, which is down in the infield, is the 28 of George Brunholzl. The 3 of Mike McLaughlin into the infield pit area. Change of a right rear tire for Mike. Has 96 laps. We'll go for a green-white checker situation, which of course will take us over the 100-lap mark. Field crosses over and begins to assemble behind the Pontiac Trans Am pace car. Pasteryak and Lucaire now back out as Peter Locke begins to pull away with the pace car down into the infield. A dash to the end. Will Frank Scamato let him go? No, he will not. Reggie Ruggiero a little too anxious. Richie Evans being very coy about his restart technique. We'll have to try it one more time. Ruggiero and Evans. Brett Bodine running in the 3rd spot. Green flag is out. Ruggiero gets the jump and the bite. Down on the inside groove. Ruggiero in the Miller Time Pontiac off the 4th turn. He crosses the stripe in the lead. 100 laps up on the scoreboard, as this race will finish under green. Starter Frank Scamato, the white flag in hand. One more lap. One final circuit for Forestville, Connecticut's Reggie Ruggiero. 1983 track champion here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, leading the pack down the backstretch, heading for the final victory at this facility for 1984. Off the 4th turn and down to the wire, it is Reggie Ruggiero, Richie Evans, Brett Bodine, and Carl Bug Stevens. That, of course, is unofficial. We'll have to wait for the official finish, but there appears to be little question, if any, about who won the race. Reggie Ruggiero out of Forestville. Car number 44 takes down the win. Richie Evans, the Rapid Roman, defending modified champion. finishes second. Brett Bodine in his, what could very well be his last ride ever here at Stafford, as he will move on to bigger and better things following the racing here in the Northeast this season. Bug Stevens finished fourth, and beyond that we'll have to wait for the official word from the scorers. Meantime, down in Victory Lane, it certainly is Miller time as the crew comes out and welcomes Reggie Ruggiero. Brett Bodine pulls in, Richie Evans pulls in, and we can also expect Brian Ross in Victory Lane to accept the laurels as the track champion. A lot of activity at Winston Victory Lane here at the Stafford Motors. And here's Ben. Ben?
Ladies and gentlemen, on the Coke is It podium here in Winston Victory Lane, the winner of the Coca-Cola Fall Final gets a lovely kiss from his lovely wife, Reggie Ruggiero, the 1983 Stafford Motor Speedway Winston Racing Series champion. Reggie, it definitely wasn't an easy win. It was a car that was literally brand new. We talked to the crew in the pit area. They said it was one of the older cars, but you might as well call it brand new because they literally worked on it and went through it from front to back. It looked like it was running like Jack the Bear.
Yeah, it was a super race. Got to give credit to the crew. That car was in pieces Friday night. We worked till 1 o'clock last night. We were going Oswego. We never made it. And I said, well, let's get the car 100% to go to Stafford, and we did.
Well, lovely Don Steiner from Coca-Cola is going to present to you the trophy and, of course, the bubbly as the winner of the Coca-Cola Fall Final. Don gives him the victory kiss. And Don, you've seen a lot of races. Don's father has been involved in the sport of auto racing. What did you think of Reggie's performance in the Coca-Cola Fall Final?
Reggie did a fantastic job, as did all the gentlemen this afternoon. We had a beautiful day for racing. Everything went very nicely.
We'll step back a second. The bubbly is up. Jay, also from Coca-Cola. Jay, you have to be pleased with the performance here this afternoon on your spectacular event.
Oh, it's been an outstanding day. The drivers did a hell of a job. It was a great day. The race was fine. The crowd was fantastic, and we couldn't ask for better weather.
Well, there's no question about it. When you've got a great product like Coca-Cola, there's no better way than to celebrate an afternoon of racing than with Coca-Cola, the official sponsors of the Coca-Cola Fall Final. And on behalf of everyone here at Stafford, we're pleased and thrilled to have you here with us.
Thank you very much.